The one thing that kills me about all those little critics is this whole "I bet you've never even talked to a woman" shit. Is Charlie Kirk said a bunch of shitty things about women, and meanwhile his little fandom of haters is on here on my channel. Like, I bet you've never even talked to one of them. Like, God, I live with two of them, literally. And then on top of everything else, like the vast majority of my friends are women. I mean, what would you expect of a Democrat, anyways? I mean, let me put it like simply: the women are the lifeblood of the Democratic Party. They always have been. That is the reality. The thing is that to be a man in the Democratic Party is kind of it's fun in a way because you go to Democratic functionaries and you're going to be one of the only men there. You know, just saying, being outnumbered in something, especially something that gets you accolades among women, is nice. The thing is that when we look at white women in particular, one thing that really galls me is that when people say that like the majority of them voted for Trump, but it's like, it's a small majority that did. It really isn't like an outright. We're not seeing the kinds of numbers that we did with men because like it's very stark. Like the vast majority of men are galloping to the right, as fast as possible into the political right, and yet women, it's like maybe like 55% or 60% will go, along with the men, but a good 40% of them won't, and that 40% is you know, in a country of nearly 400 million people, that's a good chunk of people. And plus, there's all these idiots on the web that are like, oh, ha ha ha, Trump won the majority of American people. But anytime somebody calls out the Republicans, but it's like Trump actually didn't win a majority of the people, because if did not vote had been a candidate in the 2024 election, it would have won in a landslide. The vast majority of the American people did not vote in 2024. Yet, as they have not voted in most elections. Now, I can question their sanity for sticking this one out. I don't know. I think that they probably have other things going on, though. That make it a little bit too much. For them to show up, and it just doesn't seem worth it. And in exchange, and who can blame them? They've got other life goals. They're out there achieving things and everything. But no, the vast majority of us didn't show up at all in 2024. Again, which has been the norm going back, 100 years in this country. Like, wake up! The vast majority of the American people didn't support Trump, and his approval rating is now completely underwater. But this idea that because of the fact that I'm not a fan of Charlie Kirk, that women are not going to like me. I mean, this is the guy that's been telling women that they need to stop pursuing careers and to, get pregnant, have kids, and, become barefoot and pregnant all over again. And you want to tell me that, because of the fact that a bunch of men on YouTube are ganging up on me, that women don't, that I don't even talk to women. Man, women are the vast majority of my friends at the end of the day. Like, somehow I've managed to beat this whole YouTube algorithm thing, because that's the reality over there on Facebook. It's the reality over there on Blue Sky. It's the reality over there on Similar Worlds. 85% of the conversations that I have on an ongoing basis are going to be with the opposite sex in some way, shape, or form. So, I don't really interact much with men at the end of the day. And the truth of the matter is that I know that the vast majority of you are now galloping into the arms of Donald Trump and the Republican Party, and that means that, my future is ultimately going to be having to make and network friends with the opposite sex, because who the fuck wants to hang out with a bunch of Trump voters and maggots? Like, seriously. Anyways, 40% of white women is not, a small, minority, to say the least. The divides that exist among women are a lot starker than they are for men. Men seem to almost universally be heading in one direction, and the thing is, the reality of all that polling data means that if the vast majority of you men are ganging up on me, the odds are I'm actually doing better with women because men don't like me. They're not going to like somebody that fits in with you.